is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Sounds like
30 years of the best sports talk in Middle Tennessee, featuring Tennessee Radio Hall of Famer George Plaster, Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame coach Watson Brown, and Young Guns Billy Derrick and Michael Cindric. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome in. This is our third day, and they haven't figured it out yet. If they had, we wouldn't be here. But we welcome all of you in. Cloudy, overcast Wednesday in Nashville, Tennessee. We have a great show for you. It dawned on me about 2 minutes before we went on the air. In the 30 years that I have done this, I have never admitted at the beginning of a show that the show was going to be crummy. So believe what you want to believe, but I think we've got a really good show for you. Let's call roll. Let's start up on the plateau. Say hello to Coach Watson Brown.
We are still working on Watson. We are still doing our best. Right before the show.
Really?
Yeah. We'll get it right. We'll get it right. We'll get him back just like we did yesterday.
Okay. Well, moving right along. This is live TV, isn't it?
Yes.
By the way, if you're wondering, yesterday we made reference to the Ayatollah Khomeini. And just moments ago, I discovered that he no longer is with us and has not been for about 32 years, passed away in 1989. Shall we go to the update?
Let's do it, George. You ready?
What the heck? Why not? Item number 1.
All right, George. Item they have decided to part ways with Charlie Montoyo, but they have promoted bench coach John Schneider to interim manager for the remainder of the season. So there's some news out of Toronto that I'm not sure we expected, George.
Well, here's the deal. The Yankees have run away basically with that race. And so the Bostons and Toronto and Tampa Bay are all fighting for wild card positioning. Toronto has this terrific offense, But to be honest, they have been very inconsistent this year. I don't know what's going on up there that has led to that, but ownership obviously said we have had enough, and the axe fell today.
The axe fell. So more news in baseball, George, and this is a tremendous story. We talked all about it yesterday.
I like this story.
Jacob Stallings has received his Gold Glove trophy. He was in Miami last night as the Pirates beat the Marlins 3-2. He did not play, but George, this is what we were talking about yesterday. And Jordan Stallings, great interview, of course, but we've got this great picture that was sent in from Jordan today, thanks to her. But she sent this in of Kevin Stallings and Jacob Stallings.
Okay.
How about that?
You want a little, keep that up there for a minute. So, first of all, the Marlins did a solid, either that or MLB did, to make sure that Jacob would get the Gold Glove trophy with the Pirates in town. So he had a lot of his teammates on the front step of the dugout clapping for him when it happened. Kevin told me that once they finished the national anthem, Jacob's little 5-year-old boy, Emmett, who is just as cute as he could be, apparently some of the Pirates who had been Jacob's teammates were yelling at the end of the anthem, "Emmett, Emmett." And he went over and high-fived about 5 of them before they got him off the field. I would love to have seen that. Kevin didn't think they had anybody that had any of the photography of it, but it was a big night. This was an award that Jacob really wanted badly. And so good for him and good for Dad, who I know really enjoyed it. Now I'm looking at Watson over there. Watson, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, George. Can you hear me?
Why do you keep causing these problems?
I think it's you. I think you just do not want to get me on till a little later in the show. It's been 22 long hours. I've missed you, and yet you just put me off.
Well,
I mean,
what? You got to show up on time.
Oh, no. I ain't going there. You ain't going there, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm the only one in the group's got a watch on, so let's don't do the time deal.
Wow. We've got a clock over here.
I'm glad. Can you see it? It's pretty far away from
407.
Okay.
407. Let's go back to the update. There's no reason to let Watson ruin it.
Let's get back to it, George. We've got some college football news to get to.
Yeah, I like this one. Watson's going to have some fun with this.
This is pretty funny. Mike Gundy asks why Texas and Oklahoma were allowed in the Big 12 business meetings. He jokingly offered advice for new Big 12 commissioner Brett Yormark yesterday. Don't let Texas and Oklahoma continue to participate in the league's business meetings. So he wants them out, just like they're going to be in 2024.
Well, you know what? Is it possible, Watson, that in a joking way he brought up a legitimate deal? If they're not going to be part of the league, get them the hell out.
Well, I mean, if you're going to go that far, what are they still in the league for then? Just get them out of there.
Well,
I mean, if you're still in the league, you have to participate in all ways in the league to me, George. So I mean, it's funny what Mike said, but that's not realistic. I mean, it's 2 schools in the conference. Everybody's in it. Supposed to be for 2 more years. I would be willing to bet you it all breaks loose next year. That's what I think.
Watson, next week when we're in Atlanta for SEC Media Days, our show and Chris Yao and Mo Patton and JP Plant's show will both be in Atlanta at the SEC meetings. Brent Zwerneman from the Houston Chronicle, who broke the Texas OU story a year ago, will be on with us, and I can't wait to talk to him because I think it's a legit question. What is it that's holding back Texas and OU getting out of the Big 12?
I don't know. Is it the SEC or is it the Big 12? Did the SEC not invite them till 25, or is it the Big 12 that won't let them go till 25? That's a good question.
I'm guessing it's B.
I would think so. There may be contracts involved with that, with ESPN and the Big 12, George, or Fox, whoever they're with. I'm not sure who the Big 12 is with, but there may be contract issues that they just don't want to lose Texas and Oklahoma if let's say it's Fox, that Fox says, Texas and Oklahoma are going to play under our view these next 2 years. That's what I think it might be.
When Gundy said all this today, and I have not seen any of the clips, did he have the mullet?
Oh, that's a good question, George. I know he went away with the mullet. I think it was last year before the season, I think.
Yeah.
But he usually brings it back for the media days for Big 12. So we'll have to see about
He
that.
needs to get rid of it.
Watson,
It's not a great look.
I know you like it, Watson.
Oh, yeah. I would have been really good looking, wouldn't it, George, with a mullet? Yeah, that would have.
We might have to just
That would have gone over
design
well.
one for you.
Oh, thank you.
What
Make sure
else
it's blonde.
What else have we got?
George, we got some big college sports day today. We've got some basketball news. Gonzaga and Michigan State are set to play on an aircraft carrier off the coast of San Diego for Veterans Day this year, 2022. It's been 10 years since college basketball last played a game on the water. So those are always really cool to watch.
I mean, it's a great idea, but didn't they have to cancel that one because the floor was so slippery that they were worried about injuries?
Yeah, that was the North Carolina Michigan State one. I think that was the last one they did.
Yeah.
So there were some issues there. But,
I mean, it's a great thought. It's a great idea. I just don't know that you can make it work.
No, and isn't that amazing? 10 years? It doesn't seem like that was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
no.
Time flies when you're having fun.
That could
No
be,
question.
That could be a really good game, though, George. Gonzaga and Michigan State. They always seem to involve Michigan State in that deal. Let's move on, though, George. Some soccer. Nashville SC will be at home against Seattle tonight, 7:30 p.m. at Geodis Park. And we've got a report coming in the 5 o'clock hour from Butch Samad and Jordan Stallings. So,
Listen, this
stuff
show
coming up.
spares no expense. I mean,
oh, man, that should be fun. That should be fun, George.
Watson, we opened up the budget on that one.
Oh, big time.
Seriously, though, I want to thank the folks at Nashville SC who helped us pull that off. That was nice. They need a win tonight. They have not been as good as they were a year ago when they started steamrolling people, in particular over at Nissan Stadium. And for whatever reason, they have not been able to score as many goals. They're coming off a big loss in Charlotte Saturday, but they will have over 25,000 there tonight. John Ingram and that staff, you talk about tireless in pursuit of season ticket holders. They have sold over 23,000 season tickets. To me, that is mind-boggling.
That's fantastic. And one of the eyeballs that'll be there, the set of eyeballs that'll be there tonight's my daughter Jenny. She's going to the game. So,
Really?
yeah, she hadn't seen the stadium yet. Looking forward to going.
You haven't been in there.
I have not.
It's beautiful.
It looks it from off the cameras. It sure does.
They one of the things they've done, you'll see it in the film, is they've got different color seats, a little bit like the Superdome did it when they opened. And it's really hard to tell when you're in there, is a seat empty or is it not empty? And for TV purposes, even though they've got most of the seats full, it always looks full.
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. You don't see that in the new stadiums. That's interesting. How many does it hold, George? I don't even know that.
Right at 28.5 to 30.
Right under 30.
Yeah.
Good size.
Yeah.
George, let me butt in here real quick.
Sure.
You know what I forgot to do?
What?
Forgot to do the live read.
Oh, well, by all means.
Yeah, let's get to this live read, George, before we get to our interview. This is, of course, presented by the Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners. The Justin Tucker team is proven to be trusted with your most personal asset. Call the Justin Tucker team at 615-906-8458. That's 615-906-8458.
Not very often do we get to have a Division I college athlete join us on the show. Today, that is going to happen. We're going to head to Tallahassee after the break and talk with Florida State Seminole wide receiver Mycah Pittman. Got an interesting background. Father played pro football. He's got a brother that plays for the Colts. And now he's transferred from Oregon down to Florida State. And by the way, they open their season the Sunday night of Labor Day weekend against the LSU Bengal Tigers. That's what's coming up next. This is the George Plaster Show on Main Street Media Television.
Buying or selling a home can be a very personal experience. Why not go with the team that receives nearly all of their business from referrals? Clearly a trusted name in real estate. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners has sold more than 500 homes in the last 7 years. Voted best in Sumner County multiple times. Proven to be trusted with your most personal assets. Call the Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners at 615-906-8458. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners, Middle Tennessee's most trusted team in real estate.
I highly recommend Sumner Funeral and Cremation because of their caring nature and attentiveness to detail.
Pre-planning your funeral now will bring you peace of mind and less stress to your loved ones. When the chaos of losing you happens, your family can honor and celebrate your life, knowing things are happening just as you wanted them to. Pre-planning determines the details of your funeral, cemetery services, and can be less expensive. We are honored to serve you and are always here for you in your time of need.
Sumner Funeral and Cremation. Traditional, affordable, dignified. SumnerFuneral.com.
Jody Jones Dentistry can handle all your dental needs, from the basics to cosmetic procedures. All of this in the nicest dental facility I have ever seen. Jody has done it right. They're located conveniently at 55 Music Square East, and for an appointment, it's simple. Dial 615-259-5100 and tell them Plaz sent you.
When you're thinking about golf, consider Riverside Golf Links. Under new ownership, the course has improved dramatically. It's now 27 holes, complemented by a 9-hole executive course. Book a tee time now at 615-847-5074 and get ready to enjoy the beauty of golf in the Old Hickory area at Riverside Golf Links.
This is attorney Bart Durham, and this is me. I'm Aaliyah. Keeping in good physical condition is really important to me. But when I had a wreck with the tractor trailer truck that hurt my legs so bad I couldn't work for almost a year, I knew I needed a lawyer that understood tractor trailer cases. So I called Bart. Bart gets millions of dollars for his clients every year.
At Bart Durham Injury Law, we've handled hundreds of tractor trailer cases.
My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
I've done sports, I've been a photographer, I've been an editor, I've been a producer, I've been a reporter, I've been an anchor. I mean, I've done every job you could possibly imagine this. And so sports was a way to have fun and be different. But then I realized community is where it's at, and community and local and doing places and going, seeing people. And, sports, you go to a stadium, everybody celebrates and they go their different ways. But community-wise, there's so much going on.
We are back. We'll head to Tallahassee here in a moment or two and talk with new Florida State wide receiver Mycah Pittman, who I'm told is a live wire and should be a lot of fun as soon as we get him on here. Watson, give me a thought or two of what you think Florida State can or cannot do this year.
Well, I think this is the big year, and they need to step up. They've got to get back to the old Florida State, and I think they're capable of doing that. I think the recruiting, the talent level has improved in the last couple of years, George, and they should take a step this year, in my opinion. They've won some big games in the last couple of years, but they've had no consistency and not anywhere close yet to the old Florida State that we all know.
Here's one to pay attention to. As I mentioned earlier, they open their season the Sunday night of Labor Day, which is a big national TV deal at night. They play LSU on a neutral site in New Orleans. Yeah, sure it is.
That's like at Mississippi State. when we had a home game and I guess we sold it and said, well, we're going to play Florida on a neutral site in Orlando.
In
I said,
Orlando.
yeah, that's real neutral.
You know, you bring that up. You don't ever hear that anymore.
I think the dollars these schools are getting through the SEC now, George, is a little different than it was when I was at Mississippi State in the 90s.
And good. That deal needed to go away.
Yeah, I agree.
You all did it. You all did it once.
It's the only time I can remember we gave up a home game to Florida and went to Orlando and got beat. And then the next year it had to be the next year. They came to us and we beat them good in Starkville. So, I mean, really good. Beat them like 35-14 or something like that. So it does make a difference where you're playing.
Hey, give me this thought real quickly. This will be the second year in a row that Florida State will have gotten that Sunday night game of Labor Day weekend. Remember, they came so close to beating Notre Dame and lost in overtime. Do you think their season would have been significantly different if they had won that game?
No, I think the talent level still was about what they got. I just think it should be better this year. And I think they've got to get better is consistency on offense. That's the piece I saw. Defensively, they weren't bad, but you'd see them one game on offense, and I thought they were pretty dadgum good. Then you come back the next week, you say, wow, who's this? So I think consistency on that side of the ball is going to be big this year.
Well, here's a stat for you. I didn't realize this until earlier today. Florida State has not had a winning season in football since 2016.
How about that? How about that? No, it's time. I'm telling you, it's time. And with all of this moving conferences and doing all that, they need to get good again. They need that brand name up there, George. And so I promise you, there's a lot of folks expecting this football team to be better this year.
I know that Mycah is in the on-deck circle. For whatever reason, we're having an issue trying to get him in here by way of whatever it is we're using. Once we've got him, and I don't mean that flippantly, but I think most of you know technologically that I may not be up there with some of you.
Oh, really?
So, okay, give me this while we're stalling around, and I think Mycah may be with us, and so hopefully we'll be able to bring him up here very quickly.
What's going on, guys?
Wide receiver Mycah Pittman is on the line with us. Mycah, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I want to start with this. You never had a chance to be anything but a football player. Tell people the whole family history.
It was kind of off the get-go as I was going to play football. I mean, I love football. I loved being part of the game, and I instantly fell in love with it as a little kid. My mom didn't want me to put on the pads, so I was like 13 or 12. I begged my dad. I cried to my dad to put me in some pads at 9. And once I ended up moving in with my brother, because we weren't together at the time. But then once we moved in together, we went to the same high school. It was a great experience. I had a great time with them, with my dad and my brother. And I basically, all we knew was football and to work hard. And people were like, how can you just go out there and run all that and run all those routes and then go back in the gym? It's just like something that we seem as normal, and that's just how we were brought up. And like I can't ask for any better of a mentor than my older brother and my father. My dad's done a great job at raising me, and my brother's been a great older brother.
Now, help me with this. Your dad played in the NFL, I think I'm right, Tampa Bay Bucks?
Yeah, he won the Super Bowl with them in 2002. That
was the Brad Johnson group.
Yeah.
And your brother is now with the Colts?
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you this, because you're bound to have had some cool moments on somebody's sideline as a kid. Is there one that sticks out?
The coolest moment I would ever say was actually I was playing with my brother. I was a freshman on varsity, and I played, but the coolest thing ever was seeing my brother break school record and break a bunch of records. Actually, he scored a 99-yard touchdown. He had like 6 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns, like 2 kick returns, and then 3 receiving touchdowns. And he had 353 yards receiving. So I think that was probably the coolest thing I ever got to be a part of with my brother. But I did break his record.
Yeah, make sure you get that out there. That's not the first time he's heard that, is it?
Oh no, I haven't let him live it down. He made sure to go back to track every single catch I had to make sure I got 380 in that one game.
Watson, I was told he was a live wire, and I think we're going to find out in this interview that he is.
Yeah.
Mycah, let me take this a step further. This is an unusual question, but you transfer from Oregon when Mario Cristobal leaves the Ducks to go to the University of Miami. But you don't end up going to Miami. You go to Florida State. I bet that's created some interesting chatter.
I just believed in Coach Norvell, a receiver coach, that he comes from a receiver coach background, and he understands what comes with a receiver, the frustrations of being open and the quarterback missing you, or the frustrations of running a route and you feel like you should have got the ball on that opportunity, but he's the one that's going to get you going. He knows that the receiver needs the ball in his hands to get going, not in the second quarter, third quarter, but in the first quarter, getting them the rock, get them ready and going, and just like warming up for a workout. You're warming up in the game, and you're ready to catch on fire and stuff like that. And I feel like he understands that. And when I was at Oregon, I ended up leaving during the season because I just felt as if I wasn't being handled correctly and I wasn't being fairly treated.
Help me with this. We don't get a chance very often to have a Division I athlete on with us. And so I want you to take us through the process a little bit, because it's getting talked about a bunch. Transfer portal, NIL, you've heard all this stuff.
Yeah.
So when you make the decision that you're going to leave Oregon, talk to me about the process of how you go about deciding the next school. I think people would be fascinated just to hear all the stuff.
Yeah, it was kind of weird when I first hit the portal. I heard from South Carolina right away. I heard it from like 4 or 5 SEC schools. I heard from every single Pac-12 school. I can't think of a Pac-12 school that didn't reach out to me. And so I felt like I wanted something new. The Pac-12 is something that I kind of didn't really want to be a part of anymore. I wanted to go out and flourish myself because I felt like Pac-12 doesn't have the respect. I mean, I feel like they do need to have respect because they have great players in that division, or in that conference, sorry. And but like I said, I feel like ACC and SEC has the most respectable divisions, so I wanted to be somewhere around there. And I felt like Florida State was recruiting me the hardest, and they wanted me in multiple ways, and they showed that they were going to display my talents in multiple ways. And if I didn't ding up my shoulder, I guarantee you they would have showed a lot more ways of my potential during that spring game.
Mycah, last thing on my end before I turn you over to Watson Brown. You wanted out. You've made that very clear in what you've said to us. But for athletes that are either on the fence post or really don't want to leave, how much pressure are they getting from other schools basically saying, come here, the grass is greener at, I don't know, Guatemala Tech?
It's like that a lot of places. But I would honestly say be careful doing that because some guys, they hit the portal and no schools hit them up. And then they try to go back to that school and the school's like, well, you left us. And now they don't have a scholarship and they don't know what to do. So I would just say be careful with what you're given. Like, for example, I felt like I had flashes. I showed tape that I can make plays in college football. It was just the opportunities. I mean, shoot, I had I had like 2 targets in Stanford. No, I had 1 target in Stanford and I had 70, 60 yards or whatever. And that was my only opportunity I had. So I knew that was on film, and showing something like that is like what kept me confident in being like, okay, I can hit the portal and schools are going to want me because I've shown what I can do. I just didn't get the opportunities to continue to do what I was doing.
Are you a broadcast major?
No, I do want to get into all that fun stuff. Once I'm done with football, I will feel like a big empty space will be in my heart. So I'm definitely gonna be in the broadcasting world eventually. But this is my gaming setup right here. So yeah.
Okay, put me on your reference list. Now, it won't get you anywhere.
Okay.
But I'll let them know you're very capable. Watson, say hello to Mycah Pittman from Florida State University.
Mycah, thanks for coming on with us, man, and good luck. Good luck on the year. I was a college football coach for 44 years. So
okay,
I understand some of the things that you're doing. My brother transferred, who is, by the way, the head coach at North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
That play those guys. And Matt transferred to Florida State from Vanderbilt when back in the day when I got injured, and then he left Vanderbilt and went to Florida State. So he's been through that. The transfer portal, Mycah, and the NIL, we see all the good things. You hit a little bit already on my first question, but people see the good things in that. Talk a little bit about the tough things that you have to deal with once you transfer or when you're in the NIL. Because there are tough things out there that you have to deal with. Everybody thinks this is just some utopia. And that's really part of it, but there are other sides. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so NIL and transferring is a lot. So for example, like schools are going to be upset. I mean, there was a lot of upset people with me and my decision, and it is what it is. Like, I could care less. I've had a platform for a while now, and I've been able to handle it pretty well. I feel like if a rude comment comes up, mean comment comes up, I just sit there and laugh at the ignorance of this person because I know what I'm capable of doing. And so it's just funny to me. And then the NIL stressful part is, honestly, it's really not as bad for me. It's been really just a blessing. I can't really say NIL is stressful other than me constantly having to post things. But I mean, my agents they've done a great job at handling my situation. So shout out to my guys at Vayner. They've done a great job. And so I just appreciate them because a guy like me is all ball. Like, I love football. And whatever comes with football is those deals and those opportunities. And so that's just a little side thing that I got. But my primary focus is football and what I love doing. And then my little hobby is gaming, and that's it.
Well, Mike, I think you're being smart. Does this same group handle your taxes? All the little things that go with this that you guys have never had to deal with before. To me, all of a sudden at a young age, it's thrown on you. I think it's great that you're getting money and you're working for the money. I understand that, and I think it's great. But I also think there's things that you're also learning that probably you didn't think about.
Taxes. I had to pay $4,000 for this year, and I actually didn't have the money. I had to pull out my savings. So, shout out to my financial advisor. He got me right. But if it wasn't for him,
he's loaded.
Yeah, yeah. So I had to. And it was crazy because I thought or think I made that much, but IRS will definitely come find you if you don't pay it.
Well, I think it'll get better as years go because you guys are kind of the first to go through this.
Yeah.
And I think as it grows and people see it and then more players come in, they're going to learn from all of this in these early years. So are you settled in? Have you everything what you thought it was when you transferred? As you said earlier, it didn't always, sometimes it's not what you think. Has it been what you wanted? Are you happy with it? Please settled in?
Yeah, I'm very happy with where I'm at. I'm blessed to even be where I'm at in general. I mean, not many kids get an opportunity to play at a prestigious program like this. It's a blessing to be part of Florida State. I mean, the history behind it and being able to put on a Seminole jersey is crazy for me to even understand. I mean, shoot, Deion Sanders put on this jersey, Jameis Winston put on this jersey, Dalvin Cook put on this jersey. Matter of fact, he put on that same jersey that I'm about to put on this year. So it's something that's really cool. And just knowing the tradition and what it comes from behind. And not only that, is I just want to come and help elevate the program and help bring it back to that winning tradition because Florida State is one of the most prestigious programs. I mean, Florida State, the brand just grabs eyes and all that type of things. So like I said, I'm grateful to be a part of it, and I'm grateful to be blessed where I'm at today.
I guess this will be the last one, George. Tell me if it's not. But what I said, Michael, before you came on, I think Florida State really to take the next step and get back. I thought it's more consistency on offense, to be very honest. And I'd see games, Michael, where they were good last year and then be very inconsistent the next week. Do you feel like there is going to be major strides made there? Do you feel good how they are using you and in the style of offense that they run? And are they putting you at different places? Are you playing just one spot? Or are you playing all four of the kind of wide out spots? A lot of questions there, but just where are you and how do you think you guys are going to be offensively?
I think we're going to be really explosive. We're going to be very attack up tempo. We're going to be that type of team ready to go. Honestly, I think a lot of these guys are coming into their second, third years. They're coming in with the experience, understanding that, I mean, shoot, they've played last year. They know what to expect. They know what to expect of themselves and what they need to take for the next strides to get to where they want to be at. And honestly, I think we're going to be a great team. I don't see any team on the schedule that we have a potential of losing to, honestly. And so I just feel like this year is going to be a very, very, very surprising year for a lot of people. And I just can't wait to put people on notice and let people know what Florida State's going to be bringing to the table. And I'm definitely very happy the way I've been utilized. They have been moving me around and just showing my strengths and things like that. In spring camp, they gave me so many one-on-one opportunities, and I could say I executed 98, 99% of them. And the other one was probably like one of those fluke ones that rarely you'll ever get to see. So once I get that opportunity from coaches, I understand they're trying to put me on display and see what I'm capable of doing. And basically my whole main goal is to execute for them and my team and helping this team win. At the end of the day, if it's a fourth quarter game's on the line, I want the ball. And that's how it is. And that's my mentality. And that's how it always has been. And I want to help the team win any type of way. So, yeah.
Terrific interview. First of all, thank you. Secondly, we want you back on sometime later in the year if we can pull it off. Yeah. And I'm going to leave you with some really good stuff here. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Mycah, there are 3 things in life that are guaranteed. Mm-hmm. You know 2 of them, don't you?
Taxes and your deathbed.
Okay. There's a third. Death, taxes, and when you play LSU in New Orleans, it is not a neutral site.
Yeah, isn't that kind of crazy how they put it over there, right? It's all good. I'm just glad because I know all those LSU fans are gonna be there, and it's gonna be a fun time to talk some trash over there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for the visit. This was great.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Florida State wide receiver Mycah Pittman. Very well spoken. Really good stuff. The show is off and running. After the break, a topic that everybody has been talking about. This is the George Plaster Show on Main Street Media Television. That's good stuff. That was really good. Let's call Butch.
At WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics, we pride ourselves in providing access, innovation, and a patient experience second to none. Access to care and treatment when you need it. Innovation with medical-led cosmetics and various on-site technologies for full-service treatments with a customer experience that is calming, casual, and effective. Independently owned, providing medical, surgical, pediatric, and cosmetic dermatology and more. Visit WellSkinMD.com to schedule your appointment today. WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics. Access to healthier skin.
Hey everyone, I'm John English. This is Keith Wallace, and we would like to welcome you to John English Antique Sports and Cards in Shelbyville, Tennessee.
We specialize in graded and ungraded sports and non-sports cards, vintage wax boxes, and unopened cases. We have a large selection of PSA graded cards. We also specialize in old sports collectibles, baseball, football, basketball, golf, and tennis. You can find it all at John English Antique Sports and Cards.
We are happy to be associated with Nashville's greatest sports antique, George Plaster.
Have you heard about the high levels of radon in Middle Tennessee? Radon gas is the second leading cause of lung cancer, second only to smoking, and has no color, no taste, and no smell. The only way to know if you have radon is to test for it. Duret Radon Mitigation offers testing for small and large-scale residential and commercial properties, plus mitigation services. Visit DuretRadonMitigation.com to request testing or get a free estimate for mitigation. That's DuretRadonMitigation.com.
I think journalism is like politics. It's all local, and I think Main Street Media has really hit on something that I've been preaching for 50 years. And keep the news local, right? Local stories for local readers, and that's what I like about Main Street Media. I finally found somebody who agrees with me philosophically about concentrate on local subjects, local topics, and you'll bring your readers in.
So here we go. This is a topic that everybody has been talking about. We've sort of delved into it a little bit. I want to pull up a graphic and show you the big names that have defected out of the PGA Tour to this LIV thing. Let's roll this list. Oh, I forgot.
First, though, George, we can't forget.
Shame on me.
We cannot forget about Sumner Funeral and Cremation. They are sharing their family with yours in your time of need, now with 2 convenient locations in Gallatin and Hendersonville, and online at sumnerfuneral.com. Sumner Funeral and Cremation, traditional, affordable, and dignified.
Okay, take 2. This is a topic that everybody has been talking about. It's these golfers that have defected from the PGA Tour and signed up with LIV. As a lot of you know, Tiger Woods came out yesterday and sort of ripped into these people. And Watson, I guess my question is, why wasn't he more active before it went down? He knew full well that some of those guys were thinking about leaving. That's when he should have spoken up.
He did a little, but not like he did this week. George, he was offered probably more money than anybody to leave, and he turned it down. We saw, there's no telling what these guys are getting. Bryson DeChambeau, he said, I got $125 million to go to this tour. And if that's what you call it, the things he said, I liked. 2 things he brought up to me that are important were, the first one is this tour made you, and then you just leave it immediately to go for the money. And the second thing is, how do you give up the majors to do this? That's what this is all about. That's what we all play for. And you know, when you go to this tour, you're not going to get to play in the major events. I thought those were 2 really good things that he brought up. But I did want to say Tiger was probably offered more money than anybody to go to this, and he turned it down. Now, he doesn't need the money that some of these other guys may need. There's no doubt about that.
These were 8 that are obviously big names, and Mickelson right now is the poster child, and he's the one catching all the crap for what has gone on based on the fact that it got out about gambling debts and all that kind of stuff. But Watson, yes, they have thrown a boatload of money at these people. But what do you think behind the scenes is the problem on the PGA Tour that would get LIV the audience, because there's something going on behind the scenes where a lot of them who would have said, don't even come at me, there's no way I would do this, where a group of them have said, come on, let's talk.
Money. It's money. And I think the PGA Tour is really concerned, George, because these are big names that have already left. I mean, these guys, I look on the left side of this board, and all four of those, I believe I'm right, were in the Ryder Cup for on the United States side. These are big name guys that they've already lost. And the PGA Tour knows they cannot match the money that LIV is throwing out there. They can't match it. So I think that's why there is such an uproar. And I think that's why the players are trying to speak out and slow this thing down. But you also saw the PGA Tour is being sued, I guess, by LIV, or at least it's been looked into for shenanigans behind the scenes, whatever. I guess they're not being sued, but it's being looked into. This thing's not over, and it's not going away anytime soon. I still think there's going to have to be some form of a merger, and I don't think they can get rid of them and have them go away. The dollars that are out there, George, are just it's awful hard for a young man. It's Bryson DeChambeau. What is he, 28, 30, 32, somewhere in there, I would say. And you get offered $125 million just to go play. That's not what you're going to make when you get out there on an event. You're offered this to go play. Man, that's you got to think about that. There's no way around it.
Well, it's a little bit like you brought up the issue. Okay, I don't want to be ugly here, but the Greater Greensboro Open does not elicit a ton of passion. But the Masters, the U.S. Open, British Open, which starts tomorrow, that's a totally different story. And what these guys are saying is, look, George, you may love the house you live in, and it may have all kinds of family history. But if somebody offers you $3 million more than what it's worth, you're probably going to sell. Isn't that what it basically is?
Well, yes, I think that's a good comparison, George. And the only thing I see the PGA Tour has got to hold against them are these four majors. If there's a way that these young men are let to play the majors and be on this tour, wow, look out. I don't know where the PGA Tour, what they've got to stand on after that. So they've tried to use different things to slow it down. But honestly, it's a dollar thing. And the only thing I see that's a red flag to these guys is Ryder Cup and the majors. And if they get to play in this league and play in the Ryder Cup and play in the majors, there's no way other than a merger for the PGA, in my opinion.
Okay, if Mickelson had not done what he did, would these others have on their own jumped in?
Somebody had to be number one. Phil took the heat. Knowing the personalities, if you look at that left side that was up there, those are all kind of wild personalities. Dustin Johnson,
absolutely.
Bryson DeChambeau, and Patrick Reed. They have those strong personalities that aren't afraid to speak up, aren't afraid to do things. I would promise you throw Sergio Garcia in there with that. On the other side of the ledger, I think one of those would have jumped. And I don't think it's over yet. I still believe the one trump card, if they can keep them out of the Ryder Cup, if they can keep them out of the majors, that may slow this thing down. But other than that, George, I don't see anything.
I'm with you. There will have to be a meeting of the minds at some point. There is no way. First of all, I'm not sure the PGA Tour can withstand 5 more of the types that were on the left side. Put that list back up if you can. Okay. The first 4. if you had 4 or 5 more that have that level of personality, what does that do to the PGA?
No, that is for the major personalities. And I throw the 5th one, Sergio Garcia, in that. And George, look at that list. They're all Ryder Cup guys. They've all won majors all the way through Phil Mickelson. Those guys have all won majors. And still other than Phil, these guys are not that old. I guess Sergio might be getting up there a little bit, but these are young guys. Those 4 leaving, believe me, behind the scenes, it was a stab right in the heart, man. The PGA Tour bleeding. They're not going to show it. They're not going to display that. They're not going to talk about that, but they're scared to death right now, in my opinion. I would be.
You mark my words this weekend. Yeah, the British Open is important, and everybody will cover it the way they always do. But I think behind the scenes, the big story is going to be trying to get reaction from the PGA Tour players as to this group that is bolted. And I think you're going to see some fireworks over the next 3 or 4 days with the reactions of the players.
And there already have been, George. The players are all, a lot of them, I saw where Justin Thomas said, can we talk about anything but LIV golf? Is there a tournament going on here? I mean, so it's starting, it's wearing. It's wearing on everybody. And I think, aren't most of those on that left side, and Sergio, I think Lee Westwood, they're in the tournament this week. I think I'm right about that.
Wow.
I know that some of them sued to get in, and I think they're playing in. I believe most of those are playing in the Open this weekend.
Interesting, to say the least. Okay, when we come back, stat of the day, I am 0 for 2. Watson is blazing hot. 2-0, trying to make it 3 in a row. We will find out when we come back. This is the George Plaster Show on Main Street Media Television.
Jody Jones Dentistry can handle all your dental needs, from the basics to cosmetic procedures. All of this in the nicest dental facility I have ever seen. Jody has done it right. They're located conveniently at 55 Music Square East, and for an appointment, it's simple. Dial 615-259-5100 and tell them Plaz sent you.
I highly recommend Sumner Funeral and Cremation because of their caring nature and attentiveness to detail.
Pre-planning your funeral now will bring you peace of mind and less stress to your loved ones. When the chaos of losing you happens, your family can honor and celebrate your life, knowing things are happening just as you wanted them to. Pre-planning determines the details of your funeral, cemetery services, and can be less expensive. We are honored to serve you and are always here for you in your time of need.
Sumner Funeral and Cremation. Traditional, affordable, dignified. SumnerFuneral.com.
When you're thinking about golf, consider Riverside Golf Links. Under new ownership, the course has improved dramatically. It's now 27 holes, complemented by a 9-hole executive course. Book a tee time now at 615-847-5074 and get ready to enjoy the beauty of golf in the Old Hickory area at Riverside Golf Links.
This is attorney Bart Durham, and this is me. I'm Aaliyah. Keeping in good physical condition is really important to me. But when I had a wreck with a tractor trailer truck that hurt my legs so bad I couldn't work for almost a year, I knew I needed a lawyer that understood tractor trailer cases. So I called Bart. Bart gets millions of dollars for his clients every year.
At Bart Durham Injury Law, we've handled hundreds of tractor trailer cases.
My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
Tell me a little bit about your company.
So One Stop Realty has been around since 1974. We are your hometown brokerage. It is family owned by me. We have 30 agents that are waiting to help you with all your real estate needs. That counts as residential, commercial, and property management. We also will be getting into the auction business at the end of this month as well. We have listings that range from every price range that you can think of on the real estate market. I know Shelly Tucker has a new listing coming up in Gallatin. Heather Patton has one in Madison right around the corner here. I have one coming up myself. We have everything you need as far as real estate, and we have the expertise to help you out.
Beautiful. Give them a phone number.
Phone numbers for the office is 615-822-0750. You can find us on the web at www.onestoprealty.tn.com.
Thanks for getting involved with us.
George,
really
thank you for
appreciate
having
this. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
I think so.
Welcome back into the George Plaster Show. How about that for the open?
Oh, that was really good. Way to take a leadership role.
George, we've got the stat of the day presented by John English Antique Sports and Cards. And George, we've got an interesting one today, but first, they are specializing in antique and historical sports equipment, games, advertising, and other sport-related items. You can visit John English Sports and Cards in Shelbyville, Tennessee, open Tuesdays through Fridays from noon to 5 p.m. and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. For more info on John English, log on to their website, johnenglishgradeDcards.com.
I'll just say it the way it is. I've been down there. That is one amazing place. If you are a sports fan, you need to go, period. What do we got?
George, we ready for today's stat of the day? And here it is. How many men's pro sports teams don't end in the letter S? Do not end in the letter S.
Okay, Watson, let's start with this with both the Boston Red Sox, Chicago White Sox. You with me there?
I don't get the question. Pro sports teams don't end in it. The teams that don't end in S, right?
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
their nickname.
The nickname.
Yeah.
The nickname. I can't read. The nickname doesn't end in S. Yes, the two Soxes. You got it.
Okay. Utah Jazz.
Yep.
Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yep.
Orlando Magic.
Yep. Keep going. You're good.
Well, okay. Let's do it this way. How many are there?
Okay, George, there are 10. So you got 5 more.
Oh, God.
You got
Are you serious?
You got 5 more.
Holy cow.
This is a tough
Are we going, wait a minute, are we going hockey as well? NBA, NFL?
I'll give you a hint. The teams are the 3 major pro sports teams. That's I've seen the list. That's
okay. We're going football, basketball, baseball.
Yes. I think there may be one hockey team in there. I'm not totally sure.
Well, look at it.
I mean, you want me to reveal it now?
I mean, can you not see it? And
I can't show it on the screen without revealing it.
Oh, now that is an issue. That is an issue. Okay, Watson, I got 5. So no matter what, even though I'm 0 for 2, the worst I will go is 0.5 out of 3.
No, we either got to get them all. We're going in this. This is a double team, and we ain't there yet.
Well, you try and get them all.
I'm trying to think football.
Okay.
Is there a football team? We hadn't named any, and everyone I think it's got an S with it. I do. That's right. Raiders. Is one of them football, Billy?
Yes.
Oh God.
Gosh.
That doesn't help you guys at all. I think
not JETS. It's not Titan. What are we missing here? This is awful.
You got 5.
Yeah, this is I'm
Rams,
frozen.
Chargers, Bengals, Steelers. I almost said Oilers. Texans, Cowboys.
Colts.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Not Redskins. Cleveland Guardian or Guardians?
The Guardians.
I think it's Guardians.
I'm ready to reveal it.
Screw it. Let's see it.
Let's hear it.
So
okay.
Here's the 10. You guys missed the Heat. You got the Thunder, right, George? I think you missed the
Yes, I
Lightning.
did.
So I told you guys wrong. There are 3 NHL teams: the Kraken, the Avalanche, and the Lightning.
Well, your role in this is not good either.
That's
Well,
not fair.
I had to
No.
have revealed it if you wanted me to look at the list again.
That's bull.
You've got the monitor.
We
right in
got some
front
sort of
I
a
throw a
sound
red
effect
flag
to
on
give
that
him.
one.
We got a sound effect to give him a big raspberry.
You would not have gotten the Kraken.
Yeah, we got to do better than that thing.
That's on
And by the way,
thing.
what is the football team?
Oh man,
There
You
isn't
said there's
one.
a football team.
There isn't one.
You still got 5 without having a football team.
Well, your role in this could get you on probation.
0 for 5.
Watson, are we in agreement that he butchered this?
I think this one's red flagged all the way, babe.
You're telling me y'all would have gotten the Kraken?
I don't know. If you'd have said there's 3 hockey teams, we wouldn't have been sitting here
By
thinking
6
football
o'clock,
for
we'd
5
have had
minutes.
him.
Okay, I'll take the blame for now. But
By 6, we'd have had him.
we still had an 0 for 5 effort.
Yeah.
Not good.
Okay. No, we were 5 out of 10.
Okay, but you missed
Which
the
is
last 5. 5
Better
for 10.
than what you did.
50,
Well, you
50
got
Your
all the
role in
baseballs,
this.
George.
Do what?
You got the baseballs and
Yeah.
you got the basketballs.
Yeah.
If he had said go to the NHL, I'm not sure we wouldn't have come through.
No, I think there's a real shot we would have gotten 7 or 8 of them.
Oh yeah, right.
I feel good about that. You just stay out of this. You're on probation.
Whatever that means.
Yeah, let's start the 5 o'clock hour. Terry McCormick, TitanInsider.com, is with us. Terry, you were listening to all of this. Did you have them all?
I did not. A couple of HL ones that I would have to do some digging and some real thinking to get those.
Terry, first of all, I want to congratulate you. What a beautiful set you have behind you. You've really gone all out monetarily on the
I'm
set.
in the dining room here. I'm in the
And
dining
it
room.
appears
Doesn't have
that
to be anything on the wall behind me. But here,
and it
I think I can
appears
help
your
spruce it up a little bit,
connection
George. I can
it
spruce
appears
it
your
up just a little
connection
bit,
is
okay?
coming out of Uganda.
Oh
There you go.
no!
That
Look at that. He
I
did
love
it,
it.
George.
I love
He
it.
did it.
Get that out of here. Sick. So where'd you get the connection on this internet thing? Uganda?
Not sure. I'm at home right now.
Okay. Well, that may not quite cut it, but we'll know in the future. Get rid of the hat.
He's got it tilted and everything.
Oh, I know. This is sort of the CC Sabathia look. So kind of give us the schedule of when the Titans report. I mean, we're getting close to training camp. When does all this happen?
Camp opens on July 26th. And once it opens, then that's the day the players report, take their physicals, and get everything ready to go. And then once they do that, then they'll start practicing. Usually it's the 3rd day of practice before they can get into pads. That's kind of the collective bargaining agreement type of deal that has been in place for a number of years. And then the week of August the 11th, I believe, is the preseason opener. That is in Baltimore. Then the following week, they have the Cardinals and Tampa Bay. I'm not sure which order that's in off the top of my head, but both of those teams will be in here for joint practices the following weeks there in August. So that's when I think we'll really get a chance to look at where this Titans team stacks up.
Watson, I want you to take a look at his setup there. If he would hold over here like 0156F, we could put him in somebody's prison. Jerry, I have not talked to you. Yeah,
There you go.
That
There
didn't
you
go
go.
over as well as I thought it would. I guess you would have to be there to really see. I have not talked to you since the A.J. Brown trade. So in 1,000 words or less, what do you think went on that forced that deal?
I think A.J. Brown wanted to get paid, and he wanted to get paid sooner rather than later. And the Titans were maybe willing to give A.J. Brown a certain amount of money, but certainly not the $25 million a year that he got from the Philadelphia Eagles. And I think that kind of forced the Titans' hand. I don't think they wanted to deal A.J. Brown, but I think A.J. Brown increasingly wanted out of Nashville to go to a situation and a place where he could, make more money and have a different role. The Titans are a run first team. I'm not sure he's found a pass first team in Philadelphia because Jalen Hurts to me is not as good a quarterback as Ryan Tannehill. I think A.J. Brown's numbers may take a hit this year in terms of number of maybe not in number of targets, but in number of receptions, number of yards, all those sorts of things. He may miss Ryan Tannehill more than he thinks in this deal.
So obviously the young guy from Arkansas, there's a lot of pressure on him. And Terry, you've reported all of the group out there has reported the asthma issues, that kind of thing. Where does all that stand right now?
Well, I think the Titans, at least outwardly, have said they don't feel like it's a big deal. But to me, how can it not be a big deal if this kid can't get on and stay on the practice field during your OTA work? Because that's valuable time for these rookies. I know you refer to it a lot of times, George, as glorified babysitting. But in truth, for these young guys who are just coming in, these rookies, that's the time that they start to learn the playbook. That's the time they start to get comfortable in the system so that when training camp rolls around, they're not as far behind. So I think Treylon Burks has got his work cut out for him to try and make up for some lost time that he missed during the OTAs and minicamp by not being able to get on the field. It's going to be very, very important for him to try and put his best foot forward early in camp and be able to be a regular participant because he's got to get on the same page and develop that timing, that chemistry with Ryan Tannehill that he desperately needs. Because this passing game, you think about it, the only holdover really from last year that contributed much of anything in the passing game is Nick Westbrook-Akina. Everybody else is new. Robert Woods, who's coming off an ACL, Treylon Burks, the tight ends, Austin Hooper, Chig Okonkwo, slot receiver Kyle Phillips. Pretty much this is a whole new cast of characters for Ryan Tannehill to have to deal with. And that's what makes this training camp so important for the passing game is because there are so many new faces.
Okay, let's talk about Tannehill for a minute. Whether it's fair or unfair, those 69,000 that walked out after the Bengals loss, and it was very somber and it was very angry, to be honest, a ton of it was aimed at him. And you get the feeling that going into this season, there is a level of scrutiny that will be applied to Ryan Tannehill that he has never faced before, certainly not in Nashville. Do you think he fully understands the level of that may be heaped on him if he doesn't get off to a great start?
I think he kind of understands it. I think when he met with the media during the offseason and clarified some of the things that went on and talked about how he had to go through therapy and how much it bothered him, I think he realized that was such an opportunity blown. Now, as far as the fans are not very forgiving in situations like that unless you come back and redeem yourself. So I do think it's very important for Ryan Tannehill to get off on a good foot during the preseason and more importantly during the regular season. I don't think Malik Willis is a guy who's ready to play this year. I don't think that's going to be a factor unless the Titans just go completely south and they end up 5-12 or something like that when all is lost. And then you might want to give him a look to see what you have. But this is Ryan Tannehill's team. The onus is upon him to win back not only the fans, but I think to win back the trust of the organization that going forward, he's going to be more like the Ryan Tannehill of 2019 and 2020 than he was the Ryan Tannehill of 2021. And I have a theory about that, George, as to why I believe Ryan Tannehill kind of fell out of favor a little bit last year. Ryan Tannehill thrived the first 2 years here when the Titans' base offense was 12 personnel, 1 back, 2 tight ends, 2 receivers. Last year, they went more to 11 personnel, which is 3 receivers and only 1 tight end on the field. When they were in the 2 tight end set, most of the time, if Jeff Swain or Michael Pruitt was on the field, chances are it was going to be a run. If Anthony Firkser came into the huddle, chances are it was going to be a pass. Now that they've added Austin Hooper and Chig Okonkwo, I think they're going to go back to more 2 tight end sets as their base and be able to go run or pass out of those 12 personnel sets like they were able to in 19 and 20 when they had a lot of success in the play action and the passing game.
Watson, take a couple of extra minutes that I may have stolen from you. We'll make it up down the road.
Terry, good to see you, man.
Good to see you, Watson.
I love the hat. Every time you come on, wear the hat. I just like to see him steam. I like to see
the
him
last
steam
time you come on.
Well, George had that Braves license plate up the other day, and it said Braves 2. I want to get one that says Yankees 1 on it, so that we finished first and the Braves second.
Well, we know what kind of
last time you all won anything.
2022 may be our year.
Yeah.
That's a good way to dodge the question. Terry, the thing that I'm absolutely concerned about is I don't think we've improved ourselves at receiver. I'm not talking about tight end. I think we've improved ourselves there. I don't think we've improved ourselves at receiver. Both starters are gone, and the main guy is gone. And I wonder about the offensive line. Those two things concern me for this offense to get back. And this offense is built off of 3 pieces when they were really good. One-on-one to those wideouts when they got the one-on-ones because they're crowding the box. All those crossing routes and the option routes with those and verticals with those tight ends. I think we've fixed that. And running the football first before those other 2 things are really good. I worry about the offensive line, and I'm really concerned about the wideouts, Terry, and really concerned because I wonder about how good can they get in a short period of time because these guys have not been with Ryan Tannehill at all. AJ had, but these guys haven't at all. I agree with you 100%. I know when Ryan's at his best, it's those run-pass situations, not the all-out pass. And when you get into spread sets, that is not his bag. He is a much better drop back, fake the ball, throw it to a guy, maybe to a second guy if that guy's covered. That's Ryan Tannehill, and he's really good at that, very accurate. But when it's high-low, go here, go there, across the field, that's not Ryan's bag as much to me. I think he's a slow reactor sometimes to having to change from the right side of the field to the left side of the field, whatever like that.
I'm with you 100% on the fact that the wide receiver situation is one that certainly is right now a big time question mark on this offense. As I said earlier, other than Nick Westbrook-Akina, who is best suited to be a number 3 or number 4 guy, they really don't have anybody that has much of a rapport with Ryan Tannehill in terms of, experience together. Robert Woods is new. Traylon Burks is new. Kyle Phillips is new. He's worked, Josh Malone, who came in as a free agent, the former Station Camp and UT receiver, made a nice impression in OTAs. He's new. He actually was one of the ones that looked like he developed a bit of a rapport in the offseason work, more so than some of these other guys, just because he was out there and available the whole time throughout the offseason. So it is definitely a question mark in terms of wide receiver. Who's going to step up? Who's going to be a playmaker? You don't just replace the production that you lost with A.J. Brown. It's going to have to be probably by a committee and probably with more numbers put up by the tight ends like Okonkwo and Hooper. And then you brought up the offensive line. 40% of the offensive line is going to be new this year. They're looking at right tackle. Right now, Dylan Radins is probably has the inside track to that, although Nicholas Pereira-Ferro, or if I'm pronouncing his name right, I always mess it up, is a rookie from Ohio State. He's going to be in the mix for that. And then at left guard, if Radins loses out at right tackle, he could shift over to left guard, or you could have either Jamarco Jones or Aaron Brewer wind up with that position. So I think in a perfect world, they would like to not have to play any rookies. They'd like for Brewer probably to win the left guard job, Radins to win the right tackle job. Last year, and even the year before and 2 years before, they've not had any problems running the football, whether it was Derrick Henry or later on, whether it was Deontay Foreman and Dontrell Hilliard once Henry was hurt. But pass protection has really been an issue at times for this offensive line. I'm not sure how much better they've gotten, and it's going to take some time for this line to gel during the preseason and maybe even the early part of the regular season. So there could be some ugly moments, especially if they can't run the football consistently and can't stay out of those 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10 situations. A lot of times that crop up and force you to have to pass and allows those pass rushers to pin their ears back and go after Tannehill.
Boy, I agree with you 100%, Terry. The second question I got is, there's 3 guys to me that have got to come through to save the look, the image of the draft. Ray Dance has got to come through. Caleb Farley has got to come through. Trey Burks has got to come through, Terry. That's some pressure right there now.
It really is. I mean, you're relying on a lot of young guys and guys who haven't had a lot of experience. Dylan Ravens was a guy, like we mentioned earlier, wasn't ready to go last year as a 2nd-round pick out of North Dakota State. Much bigger jump coming from 1AA, as we used to call it, to the NFL, maybe than they anticipated. Then Caleb Farley, he's had injury issues. He's back out on the field. He's been wearing a brace. He's going to get a challenge from this year's 2nd-round pick, Roger McCreary. So the winner of that, you're going to be starting either a rookie in McCreary, or you're going to be starting a 2nd-year guy in Farley who missed most of his rookie season with the knee injury. So either way, you're probably going to be green right there at one of those cornerback spots opposite Christian Fulton. And then you brought up Traylon Burks again, another guy, big time upside, big time potential, but how long will it take him to unlock it? And how long, and can he stay healthy?
Did they decide, Terry, that they couldn't afford A.J. Brown? Or did they decide not to put the money in A.J. Brown and let him go?
I think they decided a little bit of both. I think they decided that they drew a line in the sand, said, hey, we're willing to pay A.J. Brown X. A.J. Brown wanted X plus, so A.J. Brown was shipped off. And I think the other thing, too, is this, and don't underestimate this, Watson, in terms of evaluations and all. The Titans, Mike Vrabel and John Robinson, where did they come from? Came from New England, right?
Yep.
What's New England's motto? New England's motto is that everything revolves around the team. And even guys like Tom Brady oftentimes took a little less money to make the team better, to sacrifice for the good of the team. A.J. Brown, I think, kind of put himself in a situation where he was putting himself above the team in terms of his contract, in terms of his money, in terms of what he wanted to do. And I think when you do that, you kind of run afoul of management there. And I think that made the decision, even though it was a difficult decision, a little bit easier for the Titans because they didn't want somebody that was going to put themselves above the team in any situation.
I agree with you 100%, but I think it's a big difference when you put the team first when you're winning Super Bowls back to back to back than it is when you hadn't won one and you're trying to get out of the first round. There's a big difference there to me.
Terry,
yes, George.
You butchered a guy's name.
I did.
You want to try
Nicholas
that again?
Petit Ferrer, I believe is the correct pronunciation.
Okay.
I got a little tongue-tied on that one.
You did. Terry, you got one of 2 options in the future as far as any involvement in the show. Okay. Either we create a GoFundMe page for something behind you, or we give you this.
Oh. Okay, the GoFundMe page will be up in a couple of hours, George.
Good answer, boy. Good answer.
I love it. Terry, thank you as always for coming in.
All right, thanks for having me.
See you, Terry.
Terry McCormick. Oh, Lord. Watson, that's the worst decorating job we have had on this show. Nothing.
Now, ease off of him. We've had people on and they haven't had anything behind them. You just can't stand it. As soon as poor Terry gets on, you got to go after him. And you wonder why I've got to shoot at you sometimes. My gracious alive.
Okay.
You just won't let it be.
Did you not notice that it was a little, shall we say, barren?
Well, it looked better when he put the Yankee hat on. At least least there was something there.
Great. Guess what we're going to do in a minute here. In fact, let's make Billy do this because this is his idea. First thing, before the show's over, we're going out to Geodis Park. Jordan Stallings, Butch Samide will have an update on tonight's Nashville SC contest, 7:30 against Seattle. But we will take some of your text questions. How on God's earth do we do that?
So, George, it's not super complicated at all, but wherever our viewers are watching, Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube, go to the comments section, fire your questions away because the next segment, George and Watson are going to be ready to roll for all these questions you guys got. We've got one ready right now, a college football question. I'll wait to reveal it next segment, but fire your questions away for George and Watson.
We have one?
We've got one so far, George.
I pulled up like 5 or 6 off the thing. What are you doing back there?
I don't know if that's true, George.
Well, I think it is true.
Oh, Billy, he's on a roll today, bud. He's on the roll today. Poor Terry, he's got nothing left.
No, Terry.
He's got nothing left at all. He's got no pride whatsoever left. And now he's
trying to figure out how to spell Ricky Jean-Francais or whatever. We'll go to the break. Thank goodness. This is the George Plaster Show on Main Street Media Television. Yeah.
Hey everyone, I'm John English. This is Keith Wallace, and we would like to welcome you to John English Antique Sports and Cards in Shelbyville, Tennessee.
We specialize in graded and ungraded sports and non-sports cards, vintage wax boxes, and unopened cases. We have a large selection of PSA graded cards. We also specialize in old sports collectibles, baseball, football, basketball, golf, and tennis. You can find it all at John English Antique Sports and Cards.
We are happy to be associated with Nashville's greatest sports antique, George Plaster.
This is attorney Bart Durham, and this is me. I'm Aaliyah. Keeping in good physical condition is really important to me. But when I had a wreck with a tractor trailer truck that hurt my legs so bad I couldn't work for almost a year, I knew I needed a lawyer that understood tractor trailer cases. So I called Bart. Bart gets millions of dollars for his clients every year.
At Bart Durham Injury Law, we've handled hundreds of tractor trailer cases.
My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
Jody Jones Dentistry can handle all your dental needs from the basics to cosmetic procedures. All of this in the nicest dental facility I have ever seen. Jody has done it right. They're located conveniently at 55 Music Square East, and for an appointment, it's simple. Dial 615-259-5100 and tell them Plaz sent you.
At WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics, we pride ourselves in providing access, innovation, and a patient experience second to none. Access to care and treatment when you need it. Innovation with medical-led cosmetics and various on-site technologies for full-service treatments with a customer experience that is calming, casual, and effective. Independently owned, providing medical, surgical, pediatric, and cosmetic dermatology and more. Visit wellskinmd.com to schedule your appointment today. WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics. Access to healthier skin.
At Sumner Funeral and Cremation, our mission is to serve families as our own, celebrate the life of their loved one, and help begin the healing process.
My whole family, including my wife and my mom and siblings, were very happy with the treatment that we received. I would highly recommend Sumner Funeral and Cremation.
We offer funeral, burial, cremations, and pre-planning services.
Sumner Funeral and Cremation. Traditional, affordable, dignified. SumnerFuneral.com.
I'll admit on the front end, Watson, I'm in a little bit of a silly mood today.
You're being a little rough. I wish I was there where I'd calm you down a little bit or punch you in the gut or something. You've been a little rough on people.
You think so?
Yeah. You need to back off a little bit there, bud.
Oh, I just took a couple of shots at Terry's set. It looked like Al Jazeera television.
Well, I can't deny the fact that it did have a little look to it, but I thought you were a little overbearing.
Well, that wouldn't be the first time.
No, or the last.
Watson, I think we have a new segment today.
Let's go for it.
Ask the director.
Oh, no.
Boy.
And then Watson gets to chime in. So you've got one question that you have uplinked. I've got 5 here.
I've got one, George.
Yeah.
You beat me there.
Nice job.
Let's start in college football. Chris on Facebook asked this yesterday, carrying it over to today. Didn't have time to get to it, but he asks, wouldn't it be fair to say that currently Boise State is a better program today than UCLA is?
First of all, I think one of the things, Watson, we're learning is that UCLA's move was financial desperation.
Yes.
They were in deep you-know-what. And back in our radio life, remember, we went to UCLA one day to talk about the level of trouble they were in.
Yes, we did.
Okay. I would say Boise's football program slightly better than UCLA's. Would you buy that?
Recent years, yes. As a tradition, no. UCLA has got a great tradition, and it's a brand that when these kids are coming out, they look at it immediately if they come to them. So I think there's more to UCLA's possibilities than Boise. But I think this is the year for UCLA, Coach Kelly. I think they got to get going. I put them right there with Florida State, George. They need to have a good year and a really good year and get back up to UCLA, old-time UCLA standards. That's interesting that here's 2 schools that we've talked about today, Florida State and UCLA, both of them traditionally really good, and both of them down and been down now for a while.
UCLA by a mile in basketball, even though Boise State has a respectable Mountain West background in hoops, UCLA has been head and shoulders better. I can't really say I know a lot about Boise State baseball.
Shocker.
Do they play on blue turf?
George, I think this is a football question.
Well, that's all?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking yesterday about conference realignment. So,
George, I'll jump in and say this because I've had it. I've saw it happen myself. That brand name matters. And if you want to say Boise's football, his teams have been better than UCLA in recent years, yeah, I agree with that. But the program, the brand of the program, no. I can remember when I went to Oklahoma as offensive coordinator, I go out to recruit the first time. Man, are you treated a little different when you walk in the door and you have the OU on your chest than some of the other places I'd been an assistant at or even a head coach at. That brand matters. And UCLA still has it. Florida State still has it. How long can they hold on to it? They got to get it going again here pretty quick.
New Mexico State does not have it.
No. I'm going to let you go in those directions, and you can get all the stuff on Twitter when you say that. So go ahead. Have fun.
Jamie in Dixon asks, as opposed to Jamie Dixon, who's the head coach at TCU. Jamie asks, do you like the NBA play-in game?
I don't like it personally.
I'm a traditionalist, George. You know my answer. You know me. I'm a traditionalist. I don't. I don't really like the play-in games in the NCAA. And I know you all probably do that, but I'm not real big on that either.
Well, let's start with the NBA because I've changed my tune. I was totally against it. But what I saw this year, in particular in the home game that Minnesota got, I'm trying to think, Billy, who did Minnesota play to get into the real playoffs? Because the atmosphere that night was incredible in Minneapolis. We're looking real quick to see.
Yeah, I can't remember. It was a great game, and it's fun to watch. I will say that.
And so that is it. Was it Denver?
I am not sure, George.
No, I don't know. Well, anyway, we'll find out in a minute. Watson, I thought the atmosphere on those two nights with those play-in games, I kind of changed my tune and said, I really like this. And I didn't think I would.
The atmosphere was really good in those games. You're dead on. I'm going to have to see that happen for another couple of years before I change my mind.
Okay. We're trying hard. New Orleans played the LA Clippers. Cleveland played the Atlanta Hawks. Those were two of them. The next night, I'm just kind of looking here to see if I can find it. The next night, Timberwolves beat the
Clippers. Yep.
Clippers.
Yep.
109-104.
George,
was great.
Has anybody yet played in those games and gone deep into the playoffs? That's when I think it becomes legitimate.
The T-Wolves
hasn't happened yet, has it?
No, but T-Wolves fought the Grizzlies.
T-Wolves took Memphis a little deeper than people thought.
Well, but that was the first round they played, right?
Right.
That was in the first round.
I am not for the NCAA play-in thing. First of all, I used to make the joke that they created it to fund the Contras and the Nicaraguans. In truth, the NCAA had some slush fund that they needed to put some money in, and so they just plucked this thing out of thin air. Watson, in all seriousness, the first couple of years, what they did, and they caught a lot of crap for it, was they tried to stick the predominantly black schools in that. And then they caught so much heat for it that instead of it just being 16s versus 16s, then all of a sudden the NCAA realized they were going to have to change their tune a little bit. And now you see some 11 seeds that are in there.
Yeah. And I do think that's a good move. I think that's a good move just to try to get those lower ones a game real quick in there. That wasn't smart, in my opinion. But putting those 11s in there, I think is good. I still don't like it. I still like to say you're in or you're not. There is no play-ins. There have been play-ins go further, though, than there have been in the NBA. But they've been doing that longer in the NC2A. So I'm anxious to see if that happens.
Predator Tom asks, are the Preds finished with their offseason? I'll start it. God, I hope not.
I'll speak second. I'm right. I'll second that emotion.
Wow.
The emotion, not the motion.
Right.
They can't be through, George. They're off to a good start, but they got more work to do to me.
I think it's probably, I don't know, two moves away. Billy, is there any way to put up Guy's report card?
Did not get that graphic up, George.
Okay. Can't do that.
No, cannot do that.
I would think in the next few days there will be at least one free agent signing from them. And I guess, yeah, I mean, they've got to.
They're really off to a good start, getting Forsberg signed, getting the young man from the Lightning. I mean, they're off to a good start, but don't stop here. Let's keep going.
They've got, I believe it's $8.5 million that's available in the salary cap, and they probably need to use it.
Yeah. Is that a lot? Is that average? I don't really know, but that sounds like it's still a lot to me.
I mean, it's probably somewhere in the middle. There's some teams that are financially strapped. That's one thing David Poyle seems to have done a very good job, he and his staff, of keeping them, below having to do what Tampa did. Now, in fairness, if you win a couple of Stanley Cups in a row, the same thing happened to the Blackhawks. you're likely going to get in salary cap trouble. So there's sort of a catch-22 to all that winning.
George, is that a good thing? George, is that a good thing?
No.
To me,
I don't think it is. To me, you're not rewarding winning, you're penalizing it.
Yes. And I like dynasties. I like to see people keep fighting to stay up there. I don't like to see it just fall off like happened to the Blackhawks. I don't like that. So I wonder if that isn't something they need to address.
George, have the Preds instantly upgraded right now, or do we have to wait until we see this team on the ice? Is it like football where you can say you get a guy and he instantly, we've upgraded? Is that the case for the Preds right now, you think?
Slightly. First of all, and I don't think this is an issue, there is no way they can bring David Riddick back as the backup goaltender. He couldn't stop a beach ball at the end of the season. And in all honesty, that one is on David Poile. He brought him in here, and he was of no help to this team. And the truth of it is, I think their coaching staff knew it way earlier in the year and tried to mask it by playing UC so dadgum much that, we saw what happened.
Guys, I'm telling you, in my opinion, and get you all see what you say, hockey is the toughest sport to really change things because hockey is the deepest sport. They have to be good deeper into their roster than any sport there is. And that's why I think it's hard year in and year out to say, boy, they've really made the move. Your third line is playing a ton. Your third teamer in football don't see the field unless he's on a special team here or there. I think it is the toughest sport to be really good because you got to be so deep.
By the way, want to wish Luke Cunnin the very best out in San Jose. We enjoyed having Luke on in our radio life. He would come on every week, good, bad, or indifferent, as far as what may have gone on the night before. Luke was a guy who would stand up. He would show up no matter what the situation was, and wish him a lot of luck. I'll leave it at that. Looky there. Look, Watson, can you see that?
Absolutely.
I love it.
How about that setup?
Brian Stewart, One Stop Realty. Okay, show us what all you got, because we may send you over to Terry McCormick's house.
Yes.
You saw it. It looked like Al Jazeera television.
Right. And I want to first and foremost preface that I'm broadcasting from Hendersonville today and not Uganda, as Terry was earlier. I felt like I needed to step my game up today just to help Terry out. And I did want to show off the new season ticket member Derrick Henry bobblehead.
Ooh, very nice.
Fantastic addition with the removable crown and everything.
Yeah.
So, Terry, we've got your back no matter if you have the Yankees hat on or not. We still love you, man. You're a great guy.
Would you like a Plaster bobblehead?
I would love a Plaster bobblehead. Do we have a Terry McCormick bobblehead or a Watson Brown?
Don't think so. And let me say this. Look, mine is 4 radio stations ago. So
I'm being quiet.
Huh?
I'm not saying a word.
No, I know you didn't.
I'm going to be quiet.
Was it a much younger, prettier bobblehead? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'll tell you, though, I had final right of refusal on the thing. What I didn't want was a nose that was sticking out from here to there. And so they
are crooked.
Well, who said that? Did Brian say that? Brian said that. Wow. He's getting right into the spirit of this show, isn't he? Right. So do you own a company? Do you have anything you want to talk about? Oh, my God. Tell us about One Stop Realty.
So, as I've said before, George, One Stop Realty is the hometown brokerage for all your real estate needs. We've been around since 1974. I took ownership of the company in 2019. We've added agents. We have expanded into building up our property management. Also, like we said yesterday on the show, we were talking about the auction side that we have coming at the end of this month. The growth with our agents is fantastic. We added 3 new agents in the past couple months. Angela Hyatt, Nathan Skelly, and Crystal Locke have all joined us, and they're going to be fantastic agents. They're ready to help you in all your residential, your commercial, property management, and auction needs. We are a family business, and we want to help your family find your next property in Middle Tennessee.
Okay, tell people if somebody's interested, and they should be, just straight off that Braves hat. That ought to do it right there. But give people all the info as to how they can reach you.
Office number is 615-822-0750. My cell phone, 615-440-7011. Or the website, onestoprealtytn.com. And you can also find us on Facebook. I encourage everybody to go out and like and follow our page, just as the same we did with George Plaster. We like and follow him and love you. Thank you so much for having us on here, George.
Brian, thank you so much. And listen, we're going to employ you to maybe clean up Terry's act a little bit, because that background's not going to do it.
Yeah, it's I think we need to also talk to him about the Yankees hat, but that's for another day, right?
No question. You and I see eye to eye on that. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you, George. See you,
Brian. We'll go to the break on that. When we come back, we'll go out to Geodis Park. Nashville SC has a game tonight at 7:30. This is the George Plaster Show on Main Street Media Television. Tell me a little bit about your company.
So One Stop Realty has been around since 1974. We are your hometown brokerage. It is family owned by me. We have 30 agents that are waiting to help you with all your real estate needs. That counts as residential, commercial, and property management. We also will be getting into the auction business at the end of this month as well. We have listings that range from every price range that you can think of on the real estate market. I know Shelly Tucker has a new listing coming up in Gallatin. Heather Patton has one in Madison right around the corner here. I have one coming up myself. We have everything you need as far as real estate, and we have the expertise to help you out.
Beautiful. Give them a phone number.
Phone numbers for the office is 615-822-0750. You can find us on the web at www.onestoprealty.tn.com.
Thanks for getting involved with us.
George,
really appreciate this. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
I think so.
At Sumner Funeral and Cremation, our mission is to serve families as our own, celebrate the life of their loved one, and help begin the healing process.
My whole family, including my wife and my mom and siblings, were very happy with the treatment that we received. I would highly recommend Sumner Funeral and Cremation.
We offer funeral, burial, cremations, and pre-planning services.
Sumner Funeral and Cremation. Traditional, affordable, dignified. SumnerFuneral.com.
I'm Bart Durham.
I was sworn in as a lawyer in 1963, and I've been working as a lawyer since then.
We're a firm that does exclusively personal injury, a lot of tractor-trailer crashes. Insurance companies will open up their checkbooks when you force them to.
We have systems that work.
We get the most money for our clients in the shortest amount of time.
I'm Blair Durham. My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
I think journalism is like politics. It's all local. And I think Main Street Media has really hit on something that I've been preaching for 50 years, and keep the news local, right? Local stories for local readers. And that's what I like about Main Street Media. I finally found somebody who agrees with me philosophically about concentrate on local subjects, local topics, and you'll bring your readers in.
Big night of sports in the city. Sounds are home. 7 o'clock against the Memphis Redbirds. Nashville SC is home tonight. Big game with a lot of playoff implications. 7:30 against Seattle. For the latest on that, we go out to Geodis Park, where Butch Samide and Jordan Stallings are standing by.
Thanks, George. Butch, after an unfortunate historic loss for Nashville Soccer Club on Saturday against Charlotte, you have to think that they're going to come out swinging tonight with some momentum, don't you think?
Absolutely. I would expect Ani Mukhtar, CJ Sapong, Randall Lill, I would expect all these players to create some momentum on their own, trying to get a goal early in the game to establish that momentum, get this amazing crowd and atmosphere going in Geodis Park, and really try to get a win for the team.
Now, Nashville has some players out tonight. Tell me how that's going to impact the game and the team overall.
Yes, it is expected that Annabelle Godoy will be out again. Unfortunately, Nashville has been struggling a little bit without him in the past 3 matches. But as Coach Smith has said, they are trusting the depth at the midfield position. They are willing to play players that they think are really going to make a difference in this game.
Tell me more about what Coach Smith and the players have been saying about the steps they need to take to continue to improve in the future.
Absolutely. I would say the main lapses in the past 3 games have been on the defensive side. Walker Zimmerman calling it sloppy. He doesn't think that it's a difference in talent or physicality, however. He thinks that it's just communication and really focusing mentally throughout the entire game.
And what would a win against Seattle tonight, what playoff implications will that carry for us?
Well, as you look at the table of MLS, right now Nashville SC sitting at 7, Seattle sitting at 8, just 1 spot above them. This is a huge game with massive playoff implications.
Tell me about some of the news that has come out with the Nashville Soccer Club and the All-Star Game coming up.
Absolutely. It's always great to honor our players whenever the time is throughout the year. And Walker Zimmerman and Hani Mukhtar, 2 great performers throughout the entire year, being great and consistent, honored with All-Star Game nods for this year. Just great to cheer on our players and get to see them on an even higher level.
Well, Butch, we can only hope that Nashville is going to bring some excitement back to our city tonight against Seattle. Back to you, George.
Okay. Jordan, thank you very much. Been a busy week for the Stallings family. Her brother, Jacob, if you didn't see the show at the beginning, received his gold glove from 2021 prior to last night's game against the Pittsburgh Pirates. So they have been a busy, busy family going through the middle of the summer. Okay, Billy, you got a question off that line. Let's see what you got.
We do have a question, George. It is from Tony in Nolensville.
Tony!
Oh, yeah. Would you work less for more money, even though it's dirty government money? Example, Live Golf.
Oh, man. Tony, we're looking forward to hearing from you in real person soon. That will be fun. Watson, you want to take that one?
No, I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it. Oh, man, we talked about this earlier. It is. Tony knows. He's sitting there. He knows this is not over. It's really going to be fun to see where this goes, guys. You're throwing those kind of dollars around. It doesn't go away in a week. So it's going to be interesting to watch. I don't think the PGA can do it without those guys they've let go. They've got to get them back on the PGA Tour.
The press conferences at the British Open are going to be more interesting than the actual rounds that get played. Now, I don't know that I really believe that, but there are going to be some fireworks come out of somebody's press conference. You just watch. Listen to this one. And Billy and I probably are the ones to answer this. Football Gary says, will there be a year 2 in the USFL? Billy, you want to start that? Let me tell you the reason why we're doing that. We both went down to Birmingham back in early June. We saw Birmingham play. Who'd they play?
Oh, George, I can't even remember.
Here's the bad thing.
That's irrelevant, though.
Who cares? Birmingham played somebody. Let me tell you what they did. This is so cheesy. So the USFL right now is basically a TV-driven league. Fox has created this for programming. And apparently the scary thing was they didn't do half bad when they moved the playoffs to Canton. Those games got at least halfway decent numbers. But we went to a game, a Saturday afternoon game at Legion Field, and in the name of making it look like there was somebody there were about 5,000 people there. They put everybody on the same side of Legion Field, which just happened to be the sun side. And did I go off about it? Maybe.
Yeah, George, first off, I think I waited about 40 minutes for a hot dog. And so it's not necessarily the best situation for fans in attendance. You know, it was really hot. I think it was 95 degrees. This is for TV. This is for money. This is for TV money. I don't know if there's going to be another season, but I do think there's enough interest in the South, especially a city like Birmingham. I mean, that team and that city, I think, carried the league to an extent. But anywhere else, you know, there's just not enough interest anywhere other than the South, I think.
Watson, I used to think a spring football league was a good idea. I really don't anymore.
No, I'm not big on it. I've watched them for years, had them in my town in Birmingham. We had two different teams in Birmingham. One of them was Canadian football. And I'm just not for it. I think it will be back, even if they have to do it exactly like they did it this year. I think they'll come back for a second year. They're trying to go to 3 more cities, is what I understand. I'm not sure what the cities are, but at least play in 4 cities instead of 1. I do think it'll be back one more shot. They're going to have to get more money involved, guys. You can't just go with Fox money, a little bit of NBC money. They got to get some money. They got to get some people involved in this. I don't know if they can.
I think the most discouraging thing was the lack of any names at quarterback. When Shea Patterson is about the biggest name you've got, give me a break. They got to do better than that. If they're going to survive, they got to get some quarterbacks. I'm not saying you're going to go out and get NFL guys, but a Blaine Gabbert or, you know, some of your journeyman backups, for God's sakes, get a couple of them.
Those journeyman backups are making a lot more than $45,000. That's what they pay those guys.
Get them some LIV money.
They're not there but 3 months, so I understand. But they're only making $45,000. You're not going to go get a backup, a third string quarterback in the NFL that's probably making $500,000 to come and play in that league. So they're going to have to find guys out of college, good name guys coming out of college that didn't get drafted or something, but got a little name about them. You're right, George. Quarterback play, I didn't think was very good. And now the other thing I worry about is this other league. It's the XFL, right? Doesn't it start next spring too?
So.
Is there an XFL and a USFL at the same time?
Yeah, if there's 2 of these at the same time, guys, whoa, get ready.
What's the other one on? The Oxygen Channel?
Go check that next year.
Do they have a last breath? Do you have one more real quick?
Yeah, we got one more. Got to be quick here, George. This is from Terry Jennings on Facebook. He asks, the football fan base at Vandy has really deteriorated in recent years. Other than winning more games, what do they have to do to get back on track?
I tell you what, let's hold that one till tomorrow because that's going to take a while.
Yeah, and there's no quick answer
And
there.
Watson and I have some stuff there.
Don't try not to be cynical, though.
Oh, we won't. Too bad.
Well,
I don't know about George.
I'll try to buffer George, okay? I'll try to buffer George tomorrow on that one.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Watson, on the scoreboard, it's 2-1.
2-1 what?
I've gotten booted twice. You've gotten booted once.
Oh.
We need to. I know that was tacky, but I've been tacky all day.
Are you getting tired? It's toward the end here. Are you wearing down?
Well, there's some good stuff coming.
Oh, okay.
The Plaster bet of the day, thank God it worked, is coming up after the break. You're watching the George Plaster Show on Main Street Media Television.
I highly recommend Sumner Funeral and Cremation because of their caring nature and attentiveness to detail.
Pre-planning your funeral now will bring you peace of mind and less stress to your loved ones. When the chaos of losing you happens, your family can honor and celebrate your life, knowing things are happening just as you wanted them to. Pre-planning determines the details of your funeral, cemetery services, and can be less expensive. We are honored to serve you and are always here for you in your time of need.
Sumner Funeral and Cremation. Traditional, affordable, dignified. SumnerFuneral.com.
Jody Jones Dentistry can handle all your dental needs, from the basics to cosmetic procedures. All of this in the nicest dental facility I have ever seen. Jody has done it right. They're located conveniently at 55 Music Square East, and for an appointment, it's simple. Dial 615-259-5100 and tell them Plaz sent you.
When you're thinking about golf, consider Riverside Golf Links. Under new ownership, the course has improved dramatically. It's now 27 holes, complemented by a 9-hole executive course. Book a tee time now at 615-847-5074 and get ready to enjoy the beauty of golf in the Old Hickory area at Riverside Golf Links.
This is attorney Bart Durham, and this is me. I'm Aaliyah. Keeping in good physical condition is really important to me. But when I had a wreck with a tractor trailer truck that hurt my legs so bad I couldn't work for almost a year, I knew I needed a lawyer that understood tractor trailer cases. So I called Bart. Bart gets millions of dollars for his clients every year.
At Bart Durham Injury Law, we've handled hundreds of tractor trailer cases.
My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
Yes, redemption.
Here we go.
Time for the Plaster bet of the day. Is there a problem over there?
Oh, no. Saying redemption, you're so confident right now.
No, I mean, we redeemed ourselves last night. Do you not have a graphic to support that?
No.
Not to support that.
Wow. Watson, I had the Braves, and I want to thank Matt Olson, former Nashville Sound. I want to thank Adam Duvall, who lives here in the offseason, played in our bowling deal. They helped me. I'm 1-1.
What you want me to say?
Watson's speechless.
I mean, they did. Big home runs. I will give you that. Big home runs.
So, you want me to go with tonight?
Are you ready?
Watson, this is the show's first opportunity to get over 500.
This is big.
No, it's not your first opportunity. The first show was your first opportunity to get over 500. You're 0 for 1 at trying to get over 500.
Yeah. Thank you for being so dadgum positive. Okay,
well,
let's
I'm just telling you the truth.
No,
you're 0 for 1 at trying to get to 500.
Right. You love putting that out there. Okay. Let's show people what the Plaster bet of the day is. Yes.
More baseball.
Tampa. Well, yeah. What else is there?
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you want me to go Vegas NBA?
Maybe.
If you're willing to bet on that, you got some issues.
The Tennessee Red Line.
No question. So I'm going to go Tampa Bay. And I'll tell you why, because you're laying some heavy odds on this. This young guy, Shane McClanahan, has become as good a pitcher as there is in the American League. And he has been lights out for about 2 months now. Tampa Bay is going to win at home against the Red Sox. And Watson, tomorrow, we will be 2-1.
I think you're right. I'll go with you on this one.
You agree?
I agree. I didn't agree. I agreed yesterday. I
Okay.
agreed with you on yesterday's. I agree with you on this one. So I think you're going to get to 2-1.
This will get a lot more fun when we get to football.
Well, I hope so. I mean, my gosh, Billy, he gets to pick any game he wants to pick. Anything off of any game.
We need to put Watson in here so we keep track of the standings.
No. I'm not getting
a little conversation.
Yeah.
No.
Why don't you come in every once in a while?
No. Billy, do you realize where I finished as George will tell you, in the underdog picks? Do you know where I have finished the last 2 years?
I'm guessing at the bottom.
Dead last.
That's not
Dead
saying
last.
you can't
Not last.
bounce back.
Dead last.
Hey, Watson, on that, see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, babe.
All of you behave. You've been watching the George Plaster Show on Main Street Media Television.